Hey guys, welcome back to Slimefun with Boomer. Normally we're recording this in the survival world, but given the amount of time and effort that has to go into these, I just really haven't had the ability to get my Slimefun far enough along in survival and continue the base and do grid and deal with real life and work and family and everything else. So I'm going to be using grid to help out. And today we're going to talk about furnaces. Now, before Slimefun, most of us had to rely on some sort of mass super smelter, whether it was 24 or 48 or 192 or 500 furnaces or whatever it is that you set up. When you needed a lot of material in a short period of time, that was really the only option you had. Today, we're going to look at three different furnaces. We're going to look at, we're going to compare these three and see what are the advantages and disadvantages of each and what they do. So we're going to look at the plain vanilla furnace that everybody's played with for 400 years, right? Then we're going to look at, I've maxed this up to the level 3 furnace to make it worthwhile to do the comparison. This is the electric Slimefun furnace. And then we've got the Carbonado Edge furnace. I love this one, but let's talk about it, right? So when we're talking about a vanilla furnace, what does it need to run? And I'm going to come over here because I think I have a power source. I do, and we actually need this for one point here. So when we talk about running furnaces, okay, this furnace is plain and simple. It runs on coal, charcoal, planks, logs, and a number of other things can go in here, kelp blocks, number of things can go in it. It has a certain speed it goes at, and we all know that that speed is insanely slow, right? To get one stone turned into smooth stone is roughly 10 seconds. Not efficient, right? And that's why we have to build these insane, massive auto-loading, auto-sorting, auto-collecting, auto-fillings coal, insane type arrays of furnaces that by the time you're done, you know, you just go, my gosh, I mean, 14 days have passed and I still haven't smelted my first piece of glass. So vanilla furnaces, you know, they are what they are. They're just not that good. You say, well, what about a blast furnace? And I didn't include the blast furnace because it's essentially the same thing. The blast furnace just runs at twice the speed. So I'd be at 10 right now versus 8. Okay, and then I'd be at 11. All right, and now I would be coming up on 12. You get the point. Even with blast furnaces, the new ones that came out, I believe in 113. Nope, sorry, 114. Well, somewhere in that range. I can't remember exactly which, and really doesn't matter. Blast furnace still twice as fast as a normal furnace, so instead of 256 furnaces, you'll need 128. Well, that's still insane, and that's still a lot of work and resources. What about the Slimefun furnace? This one does need power, all right? It's an electric furnace. It requires power. It has a relatively familiar interface for a lot of Slimefun options. It does not need coal. I don't have to put coal in here. I do need to connect it to the network if I want to move things in and out. So remember, with a regular furnace, you have to put a hopper on top and a chest or a barrel with the items that you want to load to get smelted. You put a hopper on the side so that coal can be loaded into it continuously to fire. You put a hopper underneath it to pull the items out. So that's 15 iron or 3 hoppers, 15 iron, 3 chests for every one of those you want to run. 128 times 15 iron. Takes an insane amount of resources and time. It's 1920 iron. 192, 384, 570. You get the idea. It's an insane amount of chests and an insane amount of iron. Anyways, that's why you don't do math on camera either. With the electric furnace, I need one network node coming in, one network node pulling out. Right? All I need to do, if I want to turn stone into smooth stone, is have a network node bringing the output node bringing stone in, and an input node bringing smooth stone out. I don't need coal. If I were to put coal in here, it doesn't do anything on either side. Matter of fact, it won't even let me put it on the right side. But I drop in stone and it's powered. Look at that. I'm going to bet you that this furnace will catch up and pass this furnace. Now this is running at this is a 4-time speed furnace. So if one normally takes 12 seconds, this should take about 3. And that's about where it's running, about every 3 seconds. That's pretty good. So instead of a 256 furnace array, you could do 64 of these. You don't have to craft 192 hoppers. You don't need 960 iron ingots. You don't need 192 chests. You don't need to set all those hoppers up. The only downside is you do have to have network connector nodes. You have to power all of those. So it means you will need additional capacitors. You will need additional connector nodes, input and output nodes. But look at this. We're at 26, 24. So in this whole time, that furnace has already caught that one. So if you need more in a shorter period of time, Electric Furnace 3 seems to do a pretty good job. Well, what about the Carbonado? Why would I want one of these babies? Well, this is the Corvette, the Porsche, the Lamborghini of furnaces. Let's pull it up. Now, I will warn you, Carbonado furnaces are very expensive to craft. Compared to a regular furnace is 8 cobble, costs you nothing, right? To craft an electric furnace, you need a heating coil, a motor, 4 gilded iron, and a furnace. So it's a little pricey to get to level 1. Then you get to level 2, essentially it's the same thing with a level 1. You need the same thing. To get a level 3 electric furnace, it's almost the same thing. 2 gilded iron switch to steel, which in my mind is actually cheaper, which is kind of surprising. But that's all it takes to get a level 3 furnace. If you want the Crown Royal Carbonado Edge furnace, okay, this is your last craft. 4 Carbonados, 2 heating coils, an electric motor, and a circuit board, which has a reinforced. Now, here's the nice thing about this furnace. It runs at 20 times the speed. So, it will go 5 times faster than a level 3 electric furnace. It'll go 20 times faster than a vanilla furnace. And in addition, for every block or piece of coal that this furnace uses, a regular furnace will use at least 10 times as much. For every block of kelp you use, a regular furnace will use at least 10 times as much. And you have the chance of bonus drops. Meaning if I smelt 100 items, there's a 3 times chance of getting bonus items. So on 100, I probably average anywhere from 110 to 115 actually come out. Not bad. Well, to continue to craft this baby back down. Reinforced ingots, more heating coils, more motors to get to the level 11. And you see each one, does have more to it than a basic furnace. As you go down in the enhanced furnace, so the skills drop down. Now you saw the luck multiplier drop to 2. To craft every one, it's still the same recipe from 1 through 11. It's just the yields change. Right? So if I go down to a level 8, the speed went down to 4. If I go to a level 7, now the fuel efficiency is down to 3 times. Level 6, processing speed drops. Level 5, efficiency drops. Level 4, the luck drops. Level 3, level 2, and so on when you start with a very basic furnace to get this thing going. So, no kidding, crafting a Carbonado furnace is very expensive. It does not need a power source, which means no regulators, no capacitors. Because it runs at 20 times the speed, a furnace array of 240 vanilla furnaces, 12 of these will do the same thing. You do need a fuel source, but if I pump in a block of stone, look at this. Look how fast this thing's running. And again, we are experiencing some server lag, so you're not seeing the full capabilities of this. Where's this? This one's at 46. This one's long done. You know how long this one took before I started up? I think the Carbonado is going to finish before this stack does. 28, 29, 30. Look at this. It's going to surpass it. I bet you it finishes the stack before this one finishes 52. And it's about to get number 49. Here, it's about to catch it. 46, 48. All right, there's 49. It's already caught it. So that's the advantage of the Carbonado. Now, I'm looking to see, am I getting bonus drops on the stone, and I am not. Very clearly, you can see the two numbers add up to 64. We all know that Slimefun's a little bit buggy, and this is one that's been hit and miss. Sometimes I've gotten it on stone, sometimes not. Sometimes I get it on kelp. Actually, most often with kelp I do. More often than not with iron and gold I've been getting it, but again I use the smelter's pickaxe, which we'll talk about more in episode 7 next. So you saw how fast that went. This is still going. If I'm waiting on sand or glass for a big build or something, clearly I need so many furnaces that it's crazy. Now, the advantages, again, to crafting 256 of these is that it only takes, what is that, 32 stacks of cobble to do one of those. The downside is you need all that iron, all those chests and hoppers, and all those rails, and the mine carts, and all the different fuel. And it's not super efficient. So it does have some downside to it. The advantage with the electric furnace, it doesn't cost a whole lot in Slimefun to craft. It doesn't need hoppers, doesn't need mine carts or rails. It does need power. So you can run 5 of these, actually technically 6, if you get creative with the connector nodes, but generally you set it up for 5. You need a capacitor for every 10 of those, because you can do 5 on either side, so they can run 10. You just have to make sure you find some way to connect the power source so it can go past that 7-block limitation. So it's 4 times faster than a regular furnace, but it does need power, which means you've got to make sure you have enough power coming into all of those furnaces. The Carbonado furnace has a lot of advantages. 1 being sheer speed, 2 being the efficiency of the fuel. The downside to it is the extreme cost. As you saw, it takes, I believe it's 15 or 16 heating coils, 15 motors, 4 carbonados, 4 reinforced ingots. I can't even speak. Reinforced, right? Reinforced ingots. It takes 15 or 13 circuit boards. It takes a lot of material. It takes the circuit boards, all that stuff. So it is a lot more demanding on the cost and resources to build it, but clearly, as you've seen, it's well worth it. Even if I didn't get the luck of the drops, I can live without that. If I need 2 shulkers or 4 shulkers worth of smooth stone in a hurry, I'm not using a regular furnace array, man. I'm lighting up a few of these. Nice thing about the Carbonado Edge furnace that the other 2 don't have is it works with either system. It will work with the network, where you pump in coal, where you pump in smooth regular stone, and when you pull out smooth stone. It will also work with hoppers coming in and going out. So it has that versatility to work with either option. Network to move things in and out, or the hoppers to move things in and out. And if I only need 20 of these versus 240 furnaces, you're only talking, like I said, 20 input and 20 out. The connector nodes, no power is needed, or the furnaces and the hoppers. So you have to kind of decide where you're at. If you are beginning in the game, you're going to be down here, right? You've been at it for a while. I'd suggest upgrading. And honestly, when you think about it, I would almost instead start here. And even if I get the level 1 furnace or the level 2 furnace, at least I get 2 times the efficiency. And as material and resources become available, I would upgrade and continue on this furnace to get towards Carbonado speed. I probably, when I first crafted this electric furnace, the very first time I crafted it was about an hour ago. First time I'd ever used it and put it up. Because I saw I could only go to 4 times the speed. When I need resources, like this platform that we're standing on, 1 million stone it takes to place it all. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for that. Matter of fact, I couldn't even wait for this. I have minions that did it. We're actually at my stone farm right now. Once I hit 1,000,000 stone in here, I just had it going right to the trash. There's 928,000 stone in here, in addition to probably 30 to 40 million that have gone towards sulfate production, and the million that it took to make this platform. And then there's probably another 20 million, cautiously guessing 20 million, that have actually just gotten trashed right into a trash can. So 3 types of furnaces. If you have any further questions about each one, where you'd recommend to go, I'd say, again, recommending start with the vanilla furnace, and then as soon as you can get material and resources, start building up on the Carbonado. Don't even bother with this one. Go right for the big one, because as you upgrade on your investment. You don't lose it. If you build this and then go to this and start running these, this sits in a chest and you never use it again. So I hope that's been helpful. We're going to continue with this series a little bit more frequently now that we're going to be using SkyGrid to help. We're going to get some more in-depth detail to help you out. Our next episode, we're going to compare 6 different pickaxes and a lumber axe to give you more detailed information and my thoughts on those as well. But I thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And always, like we say, you got to go boomer, you got to go home. We'll see you later.